Hi everyone, today we have a new video review, and as you can see, this time we are going to talk about fresh release from Armahobby. This time it's a 1/48 scale release, and the decal is Sea Hurricane Mark II-C. So the plastic kit itself is relatively new, but this time we get it in a, let's say, naval version. And in 1/48 scale it might be more interesting for some modders who didn't want or didn't have a chance to assemble the 1/72 scale release, which we reviewed as well together with you. So this model comes as, I would say, the final shape, and you see exactly the same stuff as what you will see in this video review. And note also the sign there that 3D printed parts are included into this release. This is a sole release as far as you can see here. It's written that inside we will find the plastic kit, 3D printed parts, decals, and masks for the aircraft. The box size is also standard for this 1/48 scale model, so here you can see comparison with my hand. And the box art is quite nice. I think it would be cool to get it as a poster, but unfortunately it is not supplied or available as the poster. Here we continue also with the contents, so pretty much the same stuff as I said before. And then here on the rear side you can see 3 marking options which are included into this kit. And then on another side you can see some safety advices for the assembly, which are written in several languages. This is a side opening box, but it's not as simple as it seems, because inside we also get this cardboard insert or cardboard tray, which actually protects all of the parts, and all of the sprues are packed into one plastic bag. What is funny, by the way, I will publish the 1/72 scale Hurricane release review as well, and there the 3D printed parts were just packed into the bubble wrap. Here they are packed into this cardboard corner, which is attached to the corner of the box. And well, I hope sometime we will see just a separate box which actually protects all of these 3D printed parts. But at least this cardboard protection is better than the bubble wrap which was before. So the plastic bag is resealable for the plastic parts, and we are going to start with the wing parts here. So I will show them in a second. Here they are. Let's zoom in a bit, and now you can see what I'm talking about here. So these two large parts are, I would say, somewhat classic for the Hurricane. If you had a chance to assemble the model of this aircraft from any brand, they usually do this design. I'm not sure why it is done this way, so if you have the knowledge, feel free to write in the comment section. Maybe it's due to this design that we have here the cockpit for, and this way it's easier to achieve the more rigid connection between the parts. But note that the wing mechanization is promoted, and while in 1/72 scale I could say that it's fine, not that many brands are doing this, in 1/48 scale it raises a bit more questions in my opinion, because again you have to use some aftermarket in order to depict the separate flaps, which is not cool in my opinion. We also have the nice external features. In terms of these things, Armahobby is top notch, so as you can see we have rivets, and rivets are raised rivets, which is also quite cool. We have recessed panel lines here, and if I flip it over, here inside we have also the strengthening structure, so it's not just a plain panel, and we have the guiding pins. So in terms of design and in terms of the structure design, these parts look really nice. But I still don't get why we get the molded in wing mechanization. I know that it might be just to reduce the costs, but in 1/48 scale I think nowadays it's a must-have. And next we continue with the clear sprue, so here it is. Maybe what I will do is zoom in so that you can see these parts a bit closer. So the clear sprue here was packed into a separate Ziploc bag, so all parts should be intact. And as you can see we have the separate windscreen, so you can open the canopy and show what is inside. And masks are included, as you remember, so you are pretty much covered from all, let's say, sides, and this is really good. Next we continue with the sprue A, and here we have the mix of various parts, so I will show in a second what is exactly here. So first of all, this is the tail bottom section of the tail area, obviously, of the fuselage. Here we continue also with some parts for the main wheel wells, for the tail fairings or the tail planes. Here we have the parts for the landing gear wheels, which should be assembled out of two halves, the exhaust stacks, which are molded as a single piece parts. Those are cockpit walls, landing gear legs here, another part for the main wheel well, the instrument panel, the pilot seat, which should be assembled out of several parts. So for 1/48 scale, in my opinion, all of these things look decent, and they did deserve for a nice paintwork because it will give you even more convincing finish. And as you remember, armahobby usually copies some of the things with help of decals, especially in the cockpit, so do not be surprised if we will see the seat belts included in form of decals. At least it was like this in the previous releases. But there is one more plastic sprue. So the third and the final gray plastic sprue is dedicated to the fuselage halves. As you remember, we have the tail planes or tail surfaces molded separately, so that's why we have the fuselage halves molded without them. But also here we have the raised rivets and also recessed panel lines. Everything looks really good, but be careful in this cowling area. I would rather prefer to have the separate cowling panel so that you won't have to deal with the let's say seams in this area. The same can be said about this chin panel here, and again we have the one-piece tail panel for the lower section. Here you can see also one-piece parts for the air intake and the propeller hub. So that's why I am saying that it would be cool also to get the same treatment for the fuselage panels, because it will actually simplify the overall work on the model and actually give you a cleaner result. So here you can see or take a closer look at the fuselage panel. Note also how the fabric surface is imitated here and here. It looks really good, especially for this scale. And inside again we have some strengthening structure as well as some minor features for the cockpit, guiding pins, everything is here, and the same can be said about this tail section as well. So it's just a matter of getting all of those parts together, and thanks to such smart design I don't think it will be a difficult task to do. Now what will be difficult task to do? No, it is not actually. The parts, the 3D printed parts, they were attached with the paper clip here, as you can see, to the box. Now I just need to open them, so it's another matter of remove all the sticky tape. So just give me a second. You can hear it probably on the microphone. And the 3D printed parts, why the box or this corner was triangular. So as you can see, the 3D printed parts are actually supplied on this triangular support, and now I just need to take them out. I guess this treatment was necessary in order to replicate one of the main parts for the Sea Hurricane, and you'll see in a second which one. So here it is. It's the lower fuselage panel, but this time with the special slot for the landing hook, because on the previous panels, as you remember, we did not have such thing. And then below you can see also the exhaust stacks and also the machine gun barrels, and the same can be seen from the another side. And here we have also the arrestor hook, of course, which is molded as a single piece part. A lot of supports to cut, but I don't think it will be a really difficult thing, and maybe it's not also necessary to clean them up from inside, because I don't think they will influence the overall fitment of this part with the fuselage halves, obviously, but of course it's your decision how you would go about this. But overall printing quality looks really good. I like what they are doing with the 3D printed parts in recent releases. Next we continue also with the masks. So these are pre-cut masks. They are used for the canopy and also for the landing gear wheels, so definitely a good addition. And you don't have to spend your money, you get it in the standard package. And next we continue with the decals. So for the decals I will just close the lenses a bit and maybe zoom out so that you can see what we have here. So these decals are printed by TechMod. We also have the seat belts for the pilot seat, obviously, and also here we have some decals for the instrument panel. So in case you are not a huge fan of the PE parts, then you can just use these decals, and I think the result will be quite fine. In 1/48 scale it still works good, so I'm not sure if there is any point of getting the PE parts. There is also the small errata, and it's written that there is some correction for the marking option, as you can see here, and there is something, instead of decal 9 you should use the decal 9 correction, but I'm not sure if it is in my kit. Maybe it is, and I did not notice. Or maybe it is not. Or maybe it's on the decals sheet. Just give me a second, I will check it, because I was trying to find it in the assembly manual, but in the assembly manual I don't see it. So probably it is already pre-printed. It's just it wasn't included. Yeah, so here you can see the small writing that it's corrected symbol. So you should use this one. Quite an interesting catch. Okay, so with assembly manual, we have a standard armahobby assembly manual. We have short history note here, parts map, and colors chart as well. Next, we continue with the modifications of the wing panels. So here you have to decide whether you would like to have the tanks or bombs on your model, and maybe not. Either of these will stay aside. Next we continue with the main wheel wells. So here you assemble the main section first, and then suddenly you move on to the pilot seat. Quite an interesting sequence. But then finally the main wheel wells get installed into the main wing. We continue with the cockpit walls and cockpit floor, also rudder pedals here. Then we install the instrument panel. And then we start working on the cockpit walls. We join the fuselage halves together. Here we continue with the radiator grille. And then we have also some options for the marking option 1. Here you install these 3D printed parts. They are marked with a red color. And then we have the landing gear wheels, the tail surfaces, landing gear legs, all of this stuff going into the place. Here we have the machine gun barrels and exhaust stacks. The propeller gets assembled, then the few tanks and bombs, depending which one you would prefer to have on your aircraft. And that's pretty much all, because here we have the marking guides for first 2 marking options, and they're quite colorful, I would say. Of course, those stripes, you can replicate them with the masks, but otherwise it's an interesting thing to pick. And here is the 3rd marking option with more information available by this QR code. So overall, this release looks like a really good choice for all aviation fans who wanted to find a decent Hurricane in 1/48 scale. Now it is available in this Sea Hurricane version, which is even more rare. And of course, I will be happy to hear your opinion about this release. Do not forget to write it here in the comment section below. And I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.